to see it end fast. I don't want to see this go on for years and years. Now, President Zelensky supposedly made a statement. He said he thinks the war's going to go on for a long time. And he better not be right about that. That's all I'm saying.
He goes to Europe, and a lot of our European friends puff him up. They say, you're a freedom fighter. You need to keep fighting forever. Well, fighting forever with what? With whose money, with whose ammunition, and with whose lives? The president is actually taking a much more realistic perspective and saying, this can't go on forever. We can't fund this thing forever. The Ukrainians can't fight forever. So let's bring this thing to a peaceful settlement.
President Trump and Vice President Vance both commenting on Ukraine's President Zelensky, who said a deal to end the conflict with Russia is, quote, still very, very far away. It comes as the White House pauses all military aid for Ukraine following the blow-up of the rare earth minerals deal and Zelensky's contentious meeting in the Oval Office on Friday. Joining me now is Fox News senior strategic analyst and chairman of the Institute for the Study of War, General Jack Keane. General, great to see you this morning. Let's get right to it. First, give us your assessment of the blowout that happened in the Oval Office on Friday.
Well, first of all, the Zelensky team orchestrated that and planned it. They didn't discuss in detail in the meeting that took place prior to the press conference in the Oval Office. They had the same people in it, but no media. And Zelensky and Yermak came into this meeting to talk to that media, the international American media, to have influence over them, to put pressure on Trump. What a strategy that is, isn't it? I mean, that is really unfortunate. And the irony of this thing that we're seeing here, at the heart of Zelensky's concerns, he wants security guarantees before there is a ceasefire. He would actually, and he told it to the president, reject the ceasefire if the president was able to get a ceasefire immediately. Zelensky would reject it if there were no security guarantees. And that's what the real issue is here. What the president is trying to say is, look, I understand we need security guarantees, and what is security for the people to understand? We're talking about security guarantees so that Russia is deterred and does not reattack. We know full well that even if there was a peace agreement, Maria, we know from Putin's behavior now 20 plus years that he will break that peace agreement and at a time convenient to him reattack to topple the regime. Zelensky knows that. Trump administration knows that. Europeans know that. But Zelensky wants the security guarantees to deter him in place before negotiations and a ceasefire. What the President Trump is saying, look, let's get the deal first, let's get the ceasefire, and then we'll put the security guarantees in. He even suggested at the press conference in the Oval Office, and this would have been the headline except for the collision that took place at that meeting between President Zelensky and President Trump and the Vice President. He suggested, look, this is President Trump speaking, British and French troops are going to go into Ukraine after there is an agreement as peacekeepers, and it's conceivable that we could. That should have been the headline, because President Trump has been saying for some time, I'm not going to put troops in there. But that demonstrates to me his flexibility, and he's going to put in place some tough security agreements to make certain that Putin is deterred from reattacking. He knows likely Putin probably attack while he's president, but likely he will with the next administration once President Trump is gone. That is at the heart of this disagreement. And the irony here, Maria, is I know the Trump team had as an option to get Putin to the negotiating table. They had options to increase military assistance into Ukraine and slap some tough sanctions on them to do that. Here, what's happening? We're actually pulling military aid from Ukraine to get them to the negotiating table. I mean, what a stunning turnaround this is.
Do you think that President Trump's point is, look, this is an implicit security guarantee? You've got the United States invested in Ukraine economically by digging in, literally, to those rare earth minerals. That's a deterrent in and of itself to Putin. You don't want to attack Ukraine with American companies on the ground there, so it's implicit.
Yeah, I totally agree. You're 100% right. It's obviously an economic and financial deal. It's generational. It'll take years still of exploration and mining
Right.
to be able to get the financial gain out of this for both countries. It's also a political relationship because of it that ties a country much closer together. And yes,
Yeah.
it is implied that security will have to be there to protect the investment. And Zelensky refuses to accept that. He wants
not
to see
accepting
something
it.
more tangible in the immediate. Yeah. I mean, he has been incredible in terms of motivating and inspiring his people and his troops. He goes to the front on a regular basis. Obviously, he's traveled the world to get assistance from him. He's good at that. But when it comes to strategic thinking, he is really missing it here. And he's putting his country at risk, unfortunately.
So let's talk about the reality of where we are now. I mean, President Trump has paused all aid to Ukraine. General, what kind of an impact